YouTube, I'm finna put this S23 Ultra camera to the full test. Now, I gotta admit, I may have been wrong about the Samsung S23 Ultra camera, kinda.
Nope.
And the main reason I say kinda is because it's as simple as this. In auto mode, with auto settings and the camera and AI making decisions for the physical camera, what that produces is never to my liking. But in today's video, I'm gonna be a creator and I have this camera strictly in pro mode, pro video recording mode, which means I control everything, I lock certain settings, and I'm just using it to the best of its capability. I'm gonna see if it lives up to what it should be. And this literally will let me know whether or not this camera is actually good or not. It's just not the typical user's way of using the camera. Anyways, hopefully we get good skin tones. All right, so here we are outside, front-facing camera with pro video mode in full effect. I pretty much locked my white balance. I have the front mic on specifically. I set up my focus mode, as well as I have my ISO locked to the lowest ISO period. So the only adjustments that this camera can do on its own is shutter speed. And that's literally what I think happens a lot with this camera, is the shutter speed gets cranked. Because currently the shutter speed is at 1/500. And us camera buffs know that if I'm shooting at 30 frames per second, 4K, shutter angle at 180-degree angle should be 1/60. But right now we're at 1/500. So that's the best that this camera can do in order to compensate for the lack of ND filters. And it's just the natural reality that since we don't have built-in ND filters, there are external options, but that pretty much produces more clutter and excess of things to carry. Nevertheless, earlier today, I came out and I watched the Golf R and I put this camera through a lot of different courses. So I'm going to show you all of that footage, but let me switch to the rear 8K camera in a second. All right, so here we have it, 8K video, pro video mode. Unless you have physical ND filters or controlled lighting situations, the camera is going to make whatever decisions is necessary or what it believes is necessary in auto mode, which is going to crush, in my opinion, your skin tones and your highlights to oblivion, which is why you have to come to pro video mode and understand these settings. But let's keep it all the way a buck. How many of you guys out there actually know what ISO, shutter speed, and white balance and f-stops are? I didn't think so. The majority of the people who are going to purchase this device are going to unbox it and use it as is with the full HD, screen setting as opposed to quad HD and all of the other settings, not even getting the max brightness unless you turn that on. That's my thing. That was my big gripe about the camera when I reviewed it from the perspective of just an everyday user. It's not fair, in my opinion. I think they can make their app work better just for the auto settings. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it can be better. That's the only thing I'm pushing for, is better. But nevertheless, 8K video, 24 frames per second, the sauce. So as we take a look at the beautiful royal blue Jordan 1s on the feet, from what I'm seeing on the screen, which I did switch to natural, I'm seeing nice quality. I'm in 8K video right now. We'll see how that transcends. And then next, let me switch it to 4K real quick. Exact same scenario, 4K video, 24 frames per second. Hopefully there's less jitters and so forth. My shutter speed is at 1/180th. Now it just went to 1/250th. That's why we don't like auto shutter in the video world. All right, time to put this camera in a difficult situation. I have the sun directly behind me. It's gonna blow out the highlights, obviously, because it has to crank the shutter to, again, oblivion. But if I were to put an ND filter over this, then that would correct that. But who's walking around with ND filters in their pocket? Nevertheless, I'm still going to more than likely appreciate the results of pro video mode. I'll be honest, I looked at some of the footage already from earlier when I was washing my car, and I like the pro video mode production once I'm able to take control over the camera selection, because I know better, I guess, apparently, than AI. Obviously, I mean, I don't know, we keep putting so much on AI, but what's tried and true is tried and true. So again, I'm not saying that these cameras were terrible. That was never my intentions in the previous video. I'm saying that their auto features, their AI selection, and the auto choices, which everyone will encounter as typical users, are not good enough. And they can tweak them and get better decisions. That's just all I'm saying. Now, when I take control of the camera, you guys see skin tones looking way better. Even the dynamic range I'm getting right now them little trails up there is looking pretty good. So nevertheless. All right, so basically what I'm gonna do is, I'm a content creator. I use cameras, so I'm gonna use this camera to its fullest potential. Right now I'm in pro video mode, which means I'm tweaking everything to get, you know, the best that I can get out of this camera. We're gonna watch the whip. I'm gonna use it. Sometimes I might flip to auto mode. Sometimes I'm gonna use the snap features. Everyone kept saying that, you know, with this type of phone, you have to do the tweaking yourself. So let's tweak. All right, so as you guys can see, we're gonna wash the Golf R. She's like dirty. I don't know if you guys can see that. She's not like terrible. So I don't even know if I'm gonna do all the agitation. Plus it's cold today. So I'm gonna get a lot of shots using the S23 Ultra. All right, so one quick shot with director's view. You guys can see we're about to wash the Golf R. Using the S23 Ultra cameras, I'm gonna capture it. I'm gonna try to get some slow-mo shots. I'm gonna try to just create with it in general. I'm not gonna worry about what everything's gonna look like until I get into editing. Anytime you see these sneakers on, you know I'm washing some whips. I don't know if I put enough soap in here. So apparently you have to crank, I'm talking about crank the heck out of shutter speed. But as you guys can see, the foam bath is in full effect.
Enough of the code switching, been hitting my soul, been on the ropes, I'm ready to grow, so get to know me. Keep your head up, I want you to grow with me. See this gold on me, want you to glow with me.
Okay, so we just gave...
Yeah, all right, okay.
Going into the sun, gonna kill this shot. Just gave the Golf R its foam bath. About to let that sit in and do what it do. I got a little bit of sun hitting the whip, so I'm not gonna let it sit too long. Just a slight little bit of sun. It's hitting the wheels more or less than the car. If you're in a shaded area and it's not too much sun and the highlights aren't fighting, the camera, I think, has a better chance of performing way better. So the camera pretty much only has its best chance in ideal lighting situations. And I'm pretty sure that's with all of these smartphone sensors and so forth. But nevertheless, let me wash this whip off.
We get it. No contest. Wait, search up, nigga. The world been dying, days is number, check the climate, I'm sick of it. They had brain scheme to get the riches quick. I played a long game with serene scene and the whip is quick. From the back room to the hearts, I'm in the thick of it. I grind too hard for y'all not to see me a star, bitch. I'm raising a bar like they really pay me to talk. My life been in shambles, but I got handles. I'm finishing at the rim. I remind you time and again that I'm really him. Oh, you ain't up? This not just for the show, but bet you entertain. Anybody not for me is below me. Blow me, you in the way. I live my dreams, I got it locked. The master keeping on me. Back in the field, running audibles with the team. Everything I got out the mother. Told my truth, I shake that fake shit. They praise you, then minimize you behind you. Just know I notice you. Stay woke, no joke, it really be the ones you closest to. Had to stop sleeping on myself like I ain't know the truth.
This air leaf blower, which is extremely loud, and I use the AirPods Max as my noise reduction with active noise cancellation for this, because the decibels this thing puts out are crazy. So you gotta have like some type of ear protection. AirPods Max for that.
To me like it's really nobody code is this. And if you disagree, then you jaws and your claim get audited. Who you know do the beating and talking and write the harmonies. I'm really convinced there's nobody out here going hard as me. Wish well the dog that claim belief in me so he could use me. Look at me now, you chose your route, I know you sick to see it. You talk a lot, all that flop, but that's not harming us. Capping your status, we back, ain't nobody raws us. To the ones that held me down for the count, look at what growth will do. I'm the kid from the cul-de-sac, feeling double sex with loot they pay to play my shit back. Ain't no way I'm going back.
Okay, so far with me looking at the footage back on the phone with the natural setting on the display, I will say this, it looks like pro video is the best way to go, but you gotta lock up certain things. I don't know if you don't know about cameras, then you probably wouldn't know about these things, but I locked my ISO, I locked my white balance, I did lock my shutter speed, but I realized that I can't use this camera without cranking the shutter, which is unfortunate. Right now it's at 1/125th, and I think I'm shooting UHD 30. So that's about ideal. That's okay. It's okay. I would prefer 1 60th, but you know, we can't follow shutter angle on this camera. Now, if I go into a super bright situation, it's gonna adjust the shutter speed to 1/750th or 1/1000. As you guys can see, just cleaned up the Golf R. And I think in this situation, I'm getting the best results thus far that I've seen out of this camera, if the display is not lying to me. Again, I switched it to natural, got off that vivid setting, which obviously alters it, and natural is supposed to be more color accurate, and that's the whole thing I'm all about, is color accuracy. Now, the next thing to do is flip to the rear and in pro mode and check this out. So give me a second. Okay, so here we are on 8K 30 frames per second pro video mode, and everything locked except for shutter speed so that it can compensate for the extra bright lighting. I can't see my framing, so I'm gonna check it out. So I had someone in my comment section ask me, why do I use the camera in auto mode? It's because the typical user buying these smartphones probably has no clue about the pro mode, or even more, has no clue about camera settings like ISO, shutter speed, and shutter angle, white balance, and things like that. It's not as easy for the typical person to get into this mode and control their settings. I'm controlling it now just to see and give this camera its best advantage to impress me as well as you. Here's what I'll wrap this up with saying. From the footage that I've seen on the computer after, you know, taking control of the settings and using pro video, I can say this: I am impressed. I see better skin tones, I see better results, I see a great camera on the Samsung S23 Ultra. Again, I can say that I was wrong, kinda, because my gripe is with the auto camera settings. And let's be honest, every person shouldn't have to know how to use pro video in order to get the best out of their device, or pro photo. It goes both ways. As far as photography would go, I would use pro photo. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go take some shots with the pro photo on the Golf R really quick, and then we'll wrap this video up. Just like I'm supposed to do. Enough of the code switching. Been hitting my soul, been on the ropes. I'm ready to grow, so get to know me. Keep your head up, I want you to grow with me. See this gold on me, want you to glow with me. Been hitting my soul, been on the ropes. I'm ready to grow, so get to know me. Keep your head up, I want you to grow with me. See this gold on me, want you to glow with me. I've been on a job, trying to take it far. I need that ROI, that done paid the cost. I'm all in on me, little baby, she agrees, she really been here through the fall. She the only thing I need. I wanna be free, I know that they want me for my ideas so they can line their pockets. Don't hit me to tell me that you give a f about me. You don't even know nothing about me, trying to force me on your timeline. You know you need to stop it, I live for more than attention. Might not be your trending topic, put my worth in analytics. I admit that took a toll, I got addicted to scrolling. We know well that get toxic. I got caught comparing me to people I don't even know. They say it's lonely at the top, well maybe then I'll focus on things that's more important, and let whoever think whatever and just keep it moving. These niggas won't work on themselves, they'd rather see you losing. You'll never see me losing. Enough of the code switching.